What's going on? Aaron Goldsten here. In this video, we're going to talk about the 1% mess up rule for Amazon sellers. Amazon gives sellers a 1% mess up, where basically out of 100 orders, you can mess up one order. If you mess up more than 1 out of 100 orders, and that percent goes above 1%, that can get your account banned. And a lot of dropshippers are consistently fighting this. This is like what I think about all the time. This is my fear. I'm consistently thinking, A, how can I make a bunch of money? B, how can I track everything and make sure nothing slips through the cracks? And C, how can I keep this 1% down as much as possible? And it's called the ODR rate. So you have a, order defect rate is the technical term. It's basically a 1% mess up rule. Now let's talk about what can go into this 1%. What can be factored as counting as a negative blemish on the 1%, or towards this this ODR. The first thing is bad feedback. So if a customer leaves you negative feedback, that in and of itself counts against the 1%. So if you sell 100 items, and out of those 100 items, one seller out of 100 leaves you bad feedback, you're now at 1%. You're now at 1%, and you're now at your max limit. And you'll usually get a message when you hit 1% that says your account is at risk of deactivation. Amazon really cares about their customers. They care about their customers generally more than their sellers if they have to pick one. So that's why they're so strict with this criteria. Now, what can bad feedback come from? Let's dive a little bit deeper. Bad feedback can come from a couple things. The first thing is if the buyer, your customer, they receive like a broken or damaged item. So generally, if a customer receives a broken or damaged item, they'll just message you and they'll try to return it. Sometimes they'll message you and want to return it, but then they'll also, in and of itself, leave you bad feedback. It's kind of hard to control this. Would you agree with me on this? We don't control how the item's packaged because we're drop shipping it. We don't control what the supplier does or what the shipping company does. We don't control how FedEx is handling the item, but the customer gets the item, it's broken, they could leave you bad feedback. The other thing that could happen is if they get the wrong item. If they get the wrong item. Why would they get the wrong item? So what we're doing when we're drop shipping is we're finding an item on, we're going to say Walmart, we're finding an item from a supplier from a company, and we're finding that item from Walmart. We're going to find that same item on Amazon, and then we're going to list our item. We're going to list our store as one of the stores that sells this item. That's basically how dropshipping works. We're not making new listings. We're finding a popular item. Okay, this toilet seat is a popular item. It's selling in Walmart. It's also selling on Amazon. It's the same toilet seat. There's 5 other buyers or 5 other sellers. I'm going to be seller number 6. You just list your store as the 6th seller of that item. What happens though if the toilet seat isn't the exact item? What happens though if the screws are the screws that are like this, they use a screwdriver like this on Amazon, and the one on Walmart is like this? So the customer gets it thinking that they're going to use their screwdriver that they have like this. They see it's a screw that, just the two things like this to turn it. And they say they're pissed off. Now they want to return it. What happens if you got to pay attention to these little details. You have to make sure everything matches up perfectly. If you sell a tabletop, maybe you sell an outdoor tabletop and 4 chairs. Well, what happens if the one on Amazon is 24 inches long? The table length is 24 inches long, but the table length on Walmart is 26 inches long. The customer is going to get it. They're going to be upset. They're going to be upset. That's going to be an issue. One of the things that I had an issue with in my store is it was like a dog sleeping bed, and one of them was heated and one of them wasn't. A bunch of buyers bought it. They were supposed to get the heated one. They got the one that wasn't heated. They were all upset. That in and of itself, so that can leave bad feedback. Another thing that can leave bad feedback is if the item is running late. This, again, we don't necessarily control. What if FedEx is running a few days behind? They're running a few days behind. The customers on Amazon are usually used to Prime. You have Amazon? Aren't you ordering a lot of stuff where you get it in a couple days? So when they buy the item from you and they buy it from us, we're not doing Prime. So it generally says we're going to get your item to you in a week, week and a half. Well, they're already a little upset that they're going to have to wait a week. The expectation has been set, though. When they go to buy the item, they say, okay, all these other items I bought are Prime. For whatever reason, this person I'm buying the item from, it's going to take 7 days to get here. And maybe you've had that experience where occasionally you buy an item from Amazon, and instead of it being 2 or 3 day shipping, it's, 7 days or 10 days. Or it seems like in the last few months, even Prime now is like 3 or 4 or 5 day shipping for some items. You guys might have experienced that yourself. Especially as we move into, as we're in 2021, that seems to be like something that's kind of happening now in this year. But even with that said, they're used to getting items in a few days. They buy the item from you. It says when they buy it from you, we'll get to them in 7 days. They're a little bit turned off by that. They understand that it is going to be 7 days. It says it when they buy it. But what happens if it doesn't get to them for 8, 9, 10 days? What if it's a little bit late? That in and of itself can make them pissed off enough to leave bad feedback. So any of these things can cause bad feedback. The second thing is A to Z claims. An A to Z claim. What's an A to Z claim? So basically, it's where the customer contacts Amazon and they say they're not happy with the item, or they say they didn't get the item, and Amazon will refund the customer. This is a big problem which dropshippers deal with. It's a big problem. We're always dealing with it. It sucks. Let's just be honest. We can ship an item. This is not eBay. Okay, eBay, you can have less than 99% on your feedback, and it's not going to matter. eBay, you can sometimes win as a seller. Not really with Amazon. So I give you an example. I sold an item. It was like a $600 item. It got to the customer. The tracking details, it was shipped by like FedEx. On the tracking, it was signed by the customer. You could pull up the tracking number on FedEx.com. You could clearly state that it was delivered to the customer successfully. And not only that, it said on FedEx.com that it was signed by, James Johnson. And the customer's name that ordered the item was James Johnson. So it was very clear a regular person could tell that the customer got the item. The customer messages me and they say, I didn't get the item. And I messaged them back and I said, the tracking number, I have a script for this. I got scripts for everything. The tracking number shows it was delivered. Not only that, it says that you signed for the item. The buyer, the customer, wanting a free item, because a percentage of the customers that buy from you will want free items. The customer that wanted the free item contacted Amazon and opened up an A to Z claim. Now, they don't know it's an A to Z claim. They don't call it an A to Z claim. That's like seller verbiage. But they basically just contact Amazon and they say, hey, I bought this item and I didn't get it delivered. Amazon, that triggers an A to Z claim internally for us. That's a blemish on our account. And not only is it a blemish on our account, not only does that go into the 1%, they also will take money out of our account and give it back to the customer. That's what they did. They took like $600 out of my account, gave it to the customer. The customer got a refund. I lost about $600, and that counted as going towards the 1%. Late items. If the item is late, if it's taking too long, this happened to me a few days ago. It was taking too long for the item to get to the customer. I tried to keep reassuring the customer it's coming. I'm sorry, blah, 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 blah. The customer didn't like it. Even the tracking showed it was on the way. The customer didn't like it. They contacted Amazon. It was an A to Z claim. It counted against that 1%, and they took money out of my account. All these things, any bad feedback, any A to Z claim, all go for the 1%. 1%. You have to keep it under 1% in order to keep your account healthy. And it's not like it's 1% for bad feedback and 1% for A to Z claims. No, 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 no. Any bad feedback left for any reason and any A to Z claim the customer does, all those fall under the umbrella of 1%. You have to control all these negative things happening, all these bad things that are happening. You have to control it and keep all these things collectively under 1%. My store is at 0.57% now. It fluctuates. Last month, it got up to like 1.17%. I was freaking out about it. And then it dropped but then this last week, I've gotten a few AZ claims and a couple negative feedbacks that I'm trying to fix. So how do we prevent this? How do we prevent this? Because obviously 1% is not a lot of room for error. That's 1 out of 100 orders that Amazon gives us to get any negative feedback on or get any A to Z claims on. Remember, A to Z claims also include a percentage of customers that know that Amazon is real relaxed in their policy, and a percentage of customers know that if they contact Amazon, they'll get the item for free, and a percentage of customers consistently / periodically do that because they know Amazon will just side with them. They won't investigate it. So you're going to have a percentage of buyers that buy from you that is going to like make that's going to count against that 1% that you really can't control. Because you can't fight it. This is not like eBay. This is Amazon. Amazon's a different animal. Amazon's a different platform. Let's move on to the next step. So the first thing we're going to do with this is we're going to be unbelievably, massively proactive to the 10th to the 11th degree. Anytime I get anything that goes under that 1%, whether it's a negative feedback or an A to Z claim, I say, how can I fix this? How can I fix this? So one of the things that I noticed early on in my business is we were listing a lot of wrong items, right? So think about this, right? If you have a virtual assistant and they list 100 items, do you think that generally there might be a few of them that are listed wrong, where they didn't check to make sure everything is perfect, right? Yes. The answer to that, by the way, is yes. That the VAs are not going to list perfect items. So I would see negative feedback, and I'd see the negative feedback, and the negative feedback would say, I bought the wrong item, I had to return the item, I got a refund, but I was still pissed off that I got the wrong item, and because of that, I'm leaving a negative feedback. So I said, how can I fix this? How can I fix this? And over the last year and a half, I've implemented a 3-tier approach to fixing this. So what happens is, the VA that lists the items, they go out and find new items, they find all the items, and then they put the items on a sheet. We don't just upload the items to the store. So the VA, they put the items on a sheet, they put the item from the supplier and the item from Amazon that they believe is the same. And they run through, I have a 15 checkpoint list. There's 15 different checkpoints. Every single checkpoint has to be hit in order for it to qualify just to be listed. So then they list it on this, it's a sheet. Then they check it to make sure it's the same item. Then I have 2 other processes in place where 2 other eyeballs independently match and check the item to make sure it's the same item. We don't just upload the item. Oh, the VA says that it's the right item. We don't just upload the item. I have 2 other sets of eyeballs that check and verify that they believe the item is the same. They don't see any discrepancies whatsoever. Then and only then we get the item uploaded. This has dramatically helped reduce this. Yes, I still sell items in my store that are the wrong item, but it's dramatically reduced. My guess is the average Amazon store might sell, I don't know, it might be 3 to 7% of the items are wrong. If I were to guess, mine would say it's closer to 1% or 0.5%, dramatically reducing this. So, one of the other things I will do is in certain situations, those customers that they know what they're doing. We all know the item got delivered. It shows it got delivered, but we know they're going to do a claim just to get a free refund. A percentage of those customers, I will give a refund and I'll eat the cost of it. It's the cost of doing business. I've already justified it in my head. I've already figured out, listen, Traditional businesses lose money. That's not their fault all the time. I was watching this video of this guy on YouTube, and he's got a laundromat, and he talks about how, he shows like the different problems he has to deal with. And one of the things was he walks in there one day, and someone like they stuffed stuff where the coins go, the coin laundromat. You put like quarters in to get the laundry thing to work. They like stuffed junk in there, and he had to spend money to get it replaced. He also had like a game system. He had like a game system on the side, and someone came in and like shook the gaming system, and he had to bring in an expert to like fix the gaming system and get it working again. Cost of doing business. Dan Kennedy says that employee theft. So if you have a business, your employees steal from you, it's about 500% more than customers. If you have a 7-Eleven, customers are going to be stealing from you. Employees are going to be stealing from you. It's the cost of doing business. I just consider it the cost of doing business. Grant Cardone talks about he got in a big lawsuit a while ago, and he had to spend like hundreds of thousands of dollars a month to defend like his business or to defend his like real estate properties. It wasn't his fault. The people that were suing him ended up losing and going away, but he had to spend money out of his own pocket to defend it. I've already justified it in my head that, listen, Aaron, you know what? There's a lot of good things about this business. This is one of the things that suck about this business. I actually have a dedicated money in my head that I've already spent every month. That, okay, I'm willing to spend X amount of money in certain situations to refund buyers. Now, I don't do it all the time, though. I can detect there's certain situations where I will fight it. And I have scripts that will, a percentage of the time, get those buyers that are wanting a refund to go away and not do the claim. I did it about, I remember a situation clearly a few weeks ago. This guy claimed he didn't get the item. He was making a big deal. My VA sent the first script to him. He replied back. He said, no, I didn't get the item. It's not here. You got to give me a refund. My VA sent the next script, and then he messaged us back the next day, and he goes, oh, you know what? I did just happen to find the item in my garage. Sorry about that. I guess someone moved the item to my garage. And it was like a $150 item. So he didn't do a claim. I got him to go away by sending him my scripts and my tier script approach that I have for all this. So it's kind of knowing when do you fight it, when do you let it go. So one of the final things I do is, besides refunding customers, is I will send partial refunds. I started doing this recently, and it has helped. I will send partial refunds to customers that have bad experience. So if they get the wrong item, or if the item arrives damaged, or if there's been situations where this happened a couple weeks ago. So one of the other issues we're dealing with, by the way, is if we sell 100 items today, if your store sells 100 items today, we're not going to be able to buy all those 100 items from Walmart, let's say, and ship it to the customer. There's going to be a percentage of those items that are out of stock. Because Walmart, they have items that are in stock. So a customer buys an item from you, and they buy they buy some lotion from you. They buy some lotion from your Amazon store. 6 hours go by, and in 6 hours, your VA hops on the computer, they log in, and they're about to buy that lotion from Walmart and ship it to the customer. They go buy that lotion, but the lotion is out of stock. Because in that 6 hours from when the customer bought the item from you and when your virtual assistant goes to buy the item from Walmart, other people, regular customers and dropshippers, are buying that item from Walmart, and maybe Walmart had 5 units available at the time that the customer bought the item from you. 6 hours now, at the time your virtual assistant's going to fulfill the item, when your virtual assistant goes to fulfill the item's out of stock. Those 5 units that were available get bought. The item can't get shipped to the customer. So out of those 100 items that you sold, you might only be able to fulfill 80 to 90 of those items. There's going to be 10 to 20 of those items you're not going to be able to fulfill. Guess what's going to happen? Those customers are going to be upset. Some of them are going to leave you negative feedback. I got scripts for everything. I try to mitigate it or reduce it as much as possible. But I had a customer that was very, very upset that we weren't able to fulfill the item. They're like, hey, I bought the item from you. I was really excited, and they were upset. I could sense they were about to leave negative feedback. So basically I said, I'm sorry. I have a whole script for it, but it's essentially something along the lines of, we're a small family run, listen, I completely understand where you're coming from. If I were you, I would feel the same way. I'm kind of doing feel, felt, found, which is a sales, it's a sales thing. And then I say, we're a small family-run business. We had a glitch in our inventory monitoring software. Customer service is very important to us. It is customers like you that allow us to put food on the table for us. So I got a whole script for it. And then I basically say, because of that, though, we never want our customers to be upset, so we can do one of two things. The first thing is we could wait a while to see if the item gets back in stock. The second thing we could do is I'm happy to send you a $20 partial refund just to make up for the convenience, as a way of us saying sorry for the inconvenience and disappointment that this has caused. The customer accepted the partial refund, their mood changed right away, and they didn't leave negative feedback. Well, Aaron, how do you know they're going to leave negative feedback? I don't know they're going to leave negative feedback, but I've been in this business long enough, and I know the situations where if a customer gets to that point, there's like a 60, 70, 50 to 70% chance they're going to leave negative feedback. I'd rather just, if I got to spend some money to not get the negative feedback, that's what I'm going to do. So that's kind of how you handle this. This was a little bit more of an advanced video, but this is the situation you guys have to deal with. Us as dropshippers and sellers on Amazon, we're consistently fighting this 1%, and there's all these different things that can go into triggering and affecting the 1% mess up rule in Amazon, affecting that 1%. So we always got to be thinking, how can we reduce this? How can we mitigate this? And if it requires spending a little bit of money for the longevity of the store, it's 100% worth it to do.